nice having you. Now, according to its financial report released on Tuesday, GT Holding Company PLC says it generated 367.4 billion naira for the first 9 months of the year, and that's the highest ever after-tax profit. The group fared 181.9% better than the result for the same period of 2022. The impressive result already outperforms the total net profit of Nigeria's largest bank by market value from the previous year, which was only 169.2 billion naira, and puts the company back on course for a more brisk earnings performance by the end of 2023. Joining me now to discuss this further is Alli-Balogun. Olasubomi is a research analyst with Financial Derivatives Company. Good evening. Thanks for coming.
Good evening.
Yeah, let's start with if you look at GTCO's numbers, which came in yesterday, the stock went up sharply yesterday. It looks like the market was very impressed with those numbers.
Yes.
What's your thinking at FDC?
So when we analyzed their figures yesterday, we noticed that most of their profits actually came from their exchange gains, like the translation gains, and also came from their interest income. Yes. So when we compared it, the 9 months of 2023, and we compared the 9 months, that's year on year, of 2022, we noticed that they made loss last year. So compared to this, when you do the percentage gain, they actually made over 1,000 or 4,000 on exchange on translation gains. But when you compare their Q2 and their Q3, you notice that they actually made more in Q2 compared to what they made in Q3. They made, I think, 357 billion in translation gains in Q2 for 2023, and when you compare it to the figure that they released yesterday, you know that they actually went down, I think, 6%.
So when you look at the core numbers, from GTCO, do you think you've seen that the banking part of that holdco is strong?
Yes, I think we have to applaud their strategy team, basically. So a lot of people did not see the exchange rate increase, so they sort of like kept their portfolio in naira currency. So, but I think GTCO, they saw this coming, and they were able to hedge their currency against the dollar, shift a certain percentage of their portfolio, and converts into dollar. So what people are doing now, I think, is sort of like a 60-40 percentage. So I think for them, they prepared, they saw this coming, and they shifted their portfolio. So now they are seeing the fruits of their labor.
You think the loan book, as I'm looking at it on the screen now, the loan book went up by about 32.8%. That's quite huge.
Yes, it is. So when you look at that, they also get from their parent company, which they invest in Nigeria. So like, that's sort of like adds to, when you look at their operations, they recently did an increase for their junior staff, like 100% increase. So that they also need to like cover a little bit of the gains and the losses, and they need to patch things up.
Well, so I'm looking at the recent devaluation of the naira, announcement of translation losses of other big players in the banking sector. When you look at other big names such as Zenith and others, and why has GTCO made translation gains in this 9-month period being reported?
So I think what they did was move their portfolio. They moved is like a large sum, or maybe half of it, to a dollar currency. So it's sort of like they saw forward, like they saw that, okay, the exchange rate was going to go up, since it went from, I think, 160 back then to 4 something. Then
yes, at the official market.
Yes, so they knew that, okay, from the way we are going in the country, from the recent economic changes, they need to do something, and they need to plan ahead. So I think they planned ahead. And for them, when you look at sectors that were mainly hit, it was mostly the manufacturing sectors, because they had to bring in things from
they had to import
the raw
materials.
So they were hit a lot with the translation losses.
Interesting. I'm just looking at what the bottom line of all of this will mean for shareholders.
Well, okay, so
there's no dividend this time around, but at least full year will be something everyone's looking forward to.
Yes, I think they would pay very well to their shareholders since they retained everything and they're sort of like putting everything back into the business. So we expect their shareholders to be very happy for now, and if they continue with this impressive performance, I think people would continue to invest in GT. I think we saw their share price go from 18.34 to 34 September, and I think as at this currently we have their share price at 36.
Yeah, the price just I think investors just took a bit of a profit today. I'm looking at the numbers. The stock GTCO is down about 1.2% today after yesterday, so they just claw back a little bit because this looks good. But it happens in the market. You come up with good numbers, and say, hey, okay, let me take a little bit of profit very quickly while the numbers still looking really good. So let's talk about this First Bank digital self-service that's opened in Abuja branch. What's your take on it? Tell me.
So when we look at it from the First Bank side of view, we look at their operations. It actually helps them because in the long run, now they've invested a lot into this. And in the long run, they are going to make their profit back, definitely. And it reduces, from operation perspective, it reduces the queues that you have in the bank. It increases efficiency. But when you look at it from the staff or their employees, then in the long run, I think they have to like reduce the branches and move more to a technology-based company if they continue. Because when you look at what they did, they used AI, they used self-servicing machines, they used like you can lodge complaints, you can make transfers, and I think from there, once you start with technology, I'm not saying technology is bad, but once you start moving in terms of improving in your technology space, you sort of like move more and increase more or put more efforts or more infrastructure. More technological infrastructure.
Yeah, but the technology infrastructure comes with money. It's money you've got to take and deploy. But from your viewpoint, do you think this is the future of banking for us here in Nigeria, even though we're still a frontier market, as it were? Do you think First Bank has raised the curtain now and other banks will have to play catch up?
Yes, I think they have. So, but the thing, from my own view, I think the other banks would try to implement what First Bank has done. But I think with the way the human psychology works, we still like to interact. So even though they try to make technology more advanced and improve their operations, you will still see some customers going to the bank. They will still expect the customers, some to come to the bank, because like when you look at corporations, obviously cannot go towards the self-servicing facility. So we still expect that they will have customers working.
Yes, some customers would want to talk to someone when they get in. You know that thing about humans. You need to just walk into a bank with just full of machines. Who do I talk to? They need to talk and interact. Could just be something very different. But again, this is the future, by the way, my friend.
Yes.
Olasubomi, thank you so much.
All right,
it's good having you here. Thank you from Financial Derivatives Company.